Hey, hello everybody. This is the professor with Day Trading for Success. Today we're going to be going over three main topics. We're going to be going over the perfect layout. Again, a lot of people have questions about that, how to get all the custom scripts for free, and what is this layout. We're also going to go over the RV strategy. That's point 2. From the beginning, I'm going to lay it out step by step. So it's going to be a long video, how we start trading every morning. And then I'm going to show you how I would trade that layout. So you literally can see how I use the ceilings and the floors, the channels, how everything is used within the ATR level. And it's pretty kind of mind blowing because it's hard to, if you learn to use it right. I don't want to say it's impossible to fail, but if you follow these guidelines, you should be able to do pretty well. And I always recommend, of course, that you trade in a simulator. Remember, we are not financial advisors. You should seek the advice of somebody that you trust. I'm going to throw that disclaimer before I get to point 3, and make sure that you trade in a sim and only trade with money you can afford to lose. Make sure you read the disclaimer on every video, go under the information, so you understand that you should be getting professional help, that we're an entertainment station primarily. And then the third thing we're going to go over today is we're going to go over how to find all these custom scripts for free, how to get these layouts for free, how to get these indicators, how to figure out your charts, how to do the scanners. There's a video for all that, the different video for each and one of those. And there's playlists that help you find those videos quicker. So I'm going to kind of go into my channel and show you briefly how to find all that stuff and then answer a bunch of the questions that are out here right now. So remember, guys, if you like the content here, remember to give us a thumbs up and to subscribe. Everything here is free, and we'll be releasing new videos all the time with trading examples. We focus on 3 main strategies as of right now: the RV strategy, the escalator strategy, and the open strategy. Primarily on the RV strategy, we have a $1 Million Margin Club has a book coming out for that soon that's going to have all the details. I know I've been promising it forever, but they're really handling that through the publishing company that's not that's separate. So, but that should be coming out soon. And of course, I will show it here on this channel and every bit about it. The book that's out now, the Logbook, there's also a video for that. If you don't want to buy it and spend $12.99, you can just go look at all the pages for free. So everything's free, but I do recommend you get a logbook of some kind, and that one has, of course, the trading criteria on it, which is kind of cool. So let's just jump right into it. I'm going to start with the questions, and that'll lead us into the episodes. And then I'm going to get into what this layout is, and then I'm going to get into setting up the RV strategy. So you know what to expect. It's going to be a pretty long video, but we're going to cover some pretty amazing stuff that you're going to want to hear if you're interested in making a living day trading. So how is your Thinkorswim so fast with these big spikes and stuff? As you see, where's my arrow? So I have a bunch of screens around me. So people see these and they're like, I can't get mine to be that sensitive and all that. And actually, let me move this. So I'm going to just move this picture aside right now so you guys can see when I go to talk about different stuff up there. So today is September 13th. It's near the end of the day. I've already done my trading for the day. And I'm going to release this video today. So on September 13th. So anyway, this is very easy. Well, not very easy if you don't want to do it, but I keep referring to it, and I know that the comments have referred to it. You can't really get this kind of sensitivity on paper trading or on demand. It just, they don't have it. But on live trading, when you have live trading, all you really need to do is, and it should work for you. Let me bring this over. Is you need to speed up your platform, not just your computer. So it's good to have a fast computer, absolutely, but you need to speed up your platform. So I happen to know that I have that on episode 3. So I'm just going to type in 3, but you can also just type in speed up your platform. So this is showing you it on a playlist, and this is showing you it right here, how to speed up your platform and computer for Thinkorswim. So this video is going to show you step by step how to speed up your platform. And if you follow all of those steps, which isn't really that hard, I think there's like 7 things. And then once you get it all set up, then you should save that setup, right? And then I know if you're like most people, when your computer opens up, it's going to just leave off where you left, the day before. And you don't want to do that because it picks up stuff and it carries over stuff and it doesn't reconcile everything. And there's things spinning in the background that you don't even see that aren't even reconciling from all the stuff that you've done on the platform. And this is told to me by tech, like it's not always closing everything. It's like still, when you bring it back up, all this stuff is still trying to reconcile. So go back to your saved platform that's all nice and clean and start your day like that. And you should get the look that you guys have been trying to emulate. It should look very nice and crisp and clean and move very crisp and clean. Now, it also has on that video the specifications of the minimum computer size and memory. It also shows you how to go into Thinkorswim and set it perfectly right where you put in your password. There's a gear wheel down there, and you're going to want to get in there and set that up for the computer that you have, and then you're going to get the optimal speed. So that is crucial for day trading and scalping, particularly the way the RV strategy is going with more mini and small channels, because more people don't have as much to risk and they're making, $10, $15, $50 a trade, and they're just doing 10, 20, 30 trades, and they're getting their nut to make a living without a lot of risk. And that's the way it's kind of been going. Now, that we trade, often we will trade large, 1,000 shares, 2,000 shares, and we might look for those bigger, larger channels. It's 30, 50 cents. And if you don't know anything about the RV strategy, you don't even know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to get into the different strategies with that. That was one of the questions. Another question was, I'm getting a lot of repetitive questions about the different specification tools that I use. So I'm going to kind of go over those, and then I'm going to tell you where to get them. So this, in the middle of this, that's all yellow, that's the volume profile set for intraday. So if you go inside, you'll see that I have it right here. And there's a way to set that up for intraday exactly. So there's a video that shows you how to do that. That's episode 27. I think there's a couple of videos that actually show you the volume profile. I think episode 27 was one of the newer ones that shows you how to get it here. And then I've recently been setting it on intraday on my 5-minute and my 1-minute, but it'll normally come up on the right side over here. You'll see the big blue. Let's just put one up so you can see here. You guys can see. This is going to be a long video, right? So I'm going to, let me move, make this, here we go. So let me go into here and put in volume. I'm just going to put in a regular one so you can see what it looks like. See, it's off to this side typically. And now the video is going to tell you about how to read these, these valleys and cliffs, the point of control and the center, and how important that is when you trade. This is set for 10 days, this chart, this 5-minute chart. So this is a 10-day setup. But then inside here, I have the intraday set separately. So actually, no, it might be for 10 days too, because this is lining up perfectly. Let me just auto zoom here. And what's going on here? 10 days, yeah, okay. I guess just because I'm not maximized. Yeah, there we go. So I think I have this set on the left side, but I have it not set for intraday. It's just on the left side because I want to see the action as it moves, and that makes sense that I did that. This one here is set for intraday. So this is happening, as I'm trading here. So I guess it's set for, let me just see. Yeah, you know what? I just set this back to show the ATR, but typically I have this for 1 day right here. And then this is just going to show me the action within that 1 day. But we're going to go over this layout. Then we're going to set up for trading, and then I'm going to show you the trading. And this is the new ATR script that's free that was one of our subscribers worked on us for, and it's really awesome. So I'll show you how I use that as well, and the 5-minute grid. So you've seen things that you don't understand here if you're new to the channel. But that's about the volume profile, which there's a lot of questions about. And just make sure you get this. Yeah. And there's a video 27. I'm sorry, the volume profile is I just gave you, I'm sorry, 27 is the enhanced volume. That's 27, not the volume profile. The standard volume indicator is 26. If I said 20, hopefully I said 26, but if I said 27, that's the enhanced volume, which isn't up here right now, which is a custom script. So there's a video about that, episode 27. I don't get a lot of questions about that. The other ones I get questions about are the seller's indicators. So unlike the scalper's indicator, which is amazing right here, that now I primarily use all the time, and I adapted it. I kind of combined the enhanced volume and the scalping indicator together so I could get the volume of the last candle and then the current candle. Very important when you're scalping. And then this is the scalper indicator that's showing you the volume is essentially the blue line here, histogram here, and then the green represents the buyers, the red represents the sellers, and then you see the percentage, the movement on a momentum. I mean, AMD is not moving particularly fast, so you're not seeing this thing spin out like crazy, but it will at times. It'll go crazy. So now sometimes I have this volume profile up, but most of the time I don't use this one, because since I'm trading on a 1 minute chart, it just like never comes into play. So it just kind of takes up space, and it also takes up memory. It slows you down. Everything that I add makes this sensitivity less and less and less. It's nice and strong now, as you can see when you see it when I normally trade, but it goes less and less with the more you add. So remember, the more you add to your platform, one of the tricks was to, like, if you have multiple screens, like do a different layout completely and look at your charts over there. I actually have a whole different Street Smart Edge Charles Schwab layout to the right, which I hope they don't take that away. As you know, those two are merging. I have a video about that, what you should do, but I would call about that too. What does the RV strategy stand for? I get those questions a lot. I wish I had some great thing to tell you that's really cool, like relative volume or something. Stands for recreational vehicle. And the reasoning is that we in the $1 Million Margin Club were looking for a stock that was safe to trade, that was consistently consolidating. So basically the parameters of an RV stock is a $25 billion minimum market cap, a $1 billion minimum float, and an ATR of 5 or above. We like 6 or 7. And that means an average true range over a 14-day period that price action will move within a day. An average true range. It's not that complicated. Of the whole day, $5. So there's a formula that I'll show you how we figure that out. Right now, it's with the new scripts that we have. It's figured out for you ahead of time, but it's not being carried over to the other charts. So I'm going to show you, until we get that straightened out, I'm going to show you what I do to carry that over to mark out our pivot lines. Again, if you're not familiar with the strategy, I'm getting way ahead of it, but I'll show you all that. Custom layouts. So again, if you go to the playlists, and it's very quick, and you can read the videos there, it's going to show you where all these customs, you can get this layout. You can highlight the URL under the information, and then you just go over to import to your Thinkorswim layout, and then push Control V, and you get it in. You can name it anything you want, and then you have this layout. It should be nice and clean and fast, Now there's old ones on old videos. There's like episodes 8 and 9 have the old ones. There's another one on episode 28, how to build it from scratch. So I really recommend watching that and going along with that and building your own, because then whatever you want to do, you're going to know how to do it. And it's really, if you're new to Thinkorswim, it looks so complicated. But once you just spend a little bit of time, as with anything, it's really intuitive. Once you really spend a little bit of time, you don't need to have all this stuff up that I have up. You just want to probably start with charts and studying and get on the sim and mess around and slowly pick it up. When I first got to Thinkorswim from trading, I was on E-Trade actually originally, and I went to Lightspeed because everybody was trading that. And then I just took a look at Thinkorswim, and because it offered so much, it was so confusing. I was just like, I don't have time to learn. That's crazy, So I just disregarded it, and then I came back to it because of the high trading fees at Lightspeed, because I was scalping sometimes unbelievably, like 300 times. In a matter of a few hours, and then if you're paying $4 to $6 a trade, depending on what that can add up pretty quickly. So you better be doing pretty good, to pay for your trading fees. So Thinkorswim, it's for the most part free. Now, what happens, and I'm just going to touch on that a little bit, and I had to take down my dark pool video, as a lot of you know, but I'm going to be putting another one up, and the level 2 is that, from the bid and the ask, when the market maker is making that come true and it gets picked up on the time and sales, it's traveling, like it's traveling across a bridge, and there's a toll on that bridge. So in the middle there, somebody's making money, and it affects the price, the price you would have gotten. So it's not actually free for you, although it's just pennies or fractions of pennies. So to me and to most of us that have learned to trade it, we would rather not pay those extra fees. But I still trade on Lightspeed. Don't get me wrong. I trade on. There's other direct access, and I like it for momentum trading. If I'm going to take 3 to 10 trades a day, mostly at the open, you probably want a platform like Lightspeed, but I love Thinkorswim. So if you want to know about the logbook that has the criterion for the open trading, that is the only thing we actually sell, that's on episode 5. You can actually see it all without having to buy the book, which is kind of cool. It's not good for the publisher, but it's good. But yeah, if you want to log at all, you need a logbook. You should log. Not if you want to log. You should log. I was going to say if you want a good logbook, that's a good logbook. Trading Archives is playlist 1. So playlist 1 has like 25 different videos, and then there's different playlists that have the challenges that we have, where people have to make so many $1,000s in so many minutes, and those are a lot of fun to watch. Remember, we're an entertainment channel, guys, so we're trying to entertain you with whatever we can come up with while you are learning day trading. Somebody had asked recently, like, what if I have a small account? I can't trade it with a PDT. I don't have 25,000. So trading these large caps is nearly impossible. And I can only take 3 trades a week, right? Well, then you're going to look for the perfect setup. And I'm going to try to remember to touch on that today. You're going to look for the perfect setup. So you take 1 trade a day, or, 3 trades a week, or however you want to do it. And you want everything to line up so you get the most you can, and then slowly you build that account up. It's all about getting the perfect setup. I think I've answered. Did I actually answer why it was? I think I started to talk about why is it called an RV stock. So it's not because of relative volume. We were looking for a stock that consolidated and moved with some safety. I think I got sidetracked there, and so the name RV came up with because it moves slow, but it's capable of going a great distance, like the ATR that I was talking about. So you kind of get that sports car feel with a large cap stock, but you have the safety too of it. If it, picture it, if your trade is changing lanes, it's going to change lanes pretty slowly. So we kind of talked about it and liked the idea of that name because it felt like what we were doing, but you may call it silly if you like, but being a former math teacher, I have learned that the names like the escalator strategy, they stick in people's minds, and then you just need to learn these different strategies. Now, the RV strategy is a range-bound strategy. Range-bound trading has been around forever. It's just a different way of doing it that hasn't been around forever that we have found to be very successful. So you might want to really look into that, how we do it, which I'll show you some today. I'm just looking over at my sheet here to make sure I cover everything. Have I ever posted a red day? No, I haven't, but I sure as heck have them. I don't like having them, but it doesn't seem too entertaining to post them, really, frankly, and it's depressing. But yeah, I have them, guys. I lose. Two times a month, maybe up to 4 times a month, maybe. I mean, certainly I've had worse, but that's probably about the average, and mostly on my swing trades, not on scalping. I have read trades on scalping, obviously, but I make it a point. I try so hard to make sure I don't end up with a red day, even if it's a penny that I'm green. So, but of course, there's danger in that because that means I try so hard, I'm letting emotions enter in my trading. So, yeah, that's not a great lesson, right? But yeah, but I do have red days, guys. I don't post them. Let's see what else. I think that's everything. Can this strategy be used for futures, options, small caps? Absolutely. Yeah, you just have to adapt it. It's range-bound trading. Find your range within that trading, in your time increments within that trading, and with the RV strategy, it will work. You'll see as I set this up, it will work because you don't have to do 1 minute trades for the RV strategy. You can do 5 minute, you can do 15 minute. It's channel trading. You're finding the channel, so you're waiting for it to get to the ceiling of the floor, go short or go long, depending on. Some people only trade off the floors and go long, and then when it gets to the ceiling, they just sell. They don't try to go short. So a lot of people do not like shorting. How to predict the direction of the market. I had a nice gentleman talk to me about Apple in some emails about he likes to trade that at the open and was asking questions. I love trading Apple. I usually have a swing with Apple. I really do. I think it's one of the safest stocks to trade, quite frankly. You're only going to move $2 to $3 depending on when your position is in a day, and usually not even that much. So, and then you pretty much, for the most part, even if you made a mistake, if you want to hold it, it's going to come back, if you're betting for it to go long, not short necessarily. Apple is one of those behemoths that it moves really up and down in a pretty small, like the channels will shift, but the whole biggest part of the channel, you're going to get it back as long as you're holding it on a long position. But I'm not saying don't follow your day trading plan, your plan for max loss and all that. But why I thought about that today was because we have a video out that we use how to predict the direction of the market. Now, obviously, it's not accurate all the time, but there's steps that we take that shows the every morning to see the overall way we think that the SPY and the QQQ and everything else, what's it going to do today? And then within there, it's not telling you each individual stock, but a stock like Apple, almost, I hate to use the word always, but a lot of the time will move the way the market moves. Let's face it, it is one of the stocks that move the market, all those huge, large caps. So unless it's like Tesla, which is completely unpredictable, be careful there, but most of those large caps move the way the market moves, like the tech stocks, So if you look at the QQQ and you can figure out which way that's going to swing, if you take a long swing position in a tech stock, when I say just for the day, like a swing for the day, and you know which way it's going to go. And I think his strategy was to get it at a pre-market low and then ride it up through the day. That is not a bad strategy. I usually wait, as you know, the open strategy, I wait for it to break the pre-market low or high and get in on a swing. What I'll do is, since I'm trading usually with you guys, I'm doing trading examples at the same time, I'm going to set my orders to be picked up on my other computers over here for my swings. So I'll go ahead and put in the price, so limit order when they're going to get picked up based on a pre-market low or pre-market high. And then I have stop alerts, and sometimes I will use a trailing stop. I never, ever set a stop loss that other people can see. I never, and that was in my dark pool video that unfortunately I took down. But the stop hunters are real, and we will cover that again in another video. So I never do that, but I always have a stop loss, usually mental, usually set so it goes off on my phone, or I do a trailing stop. I don't have as much luck with the trailing stops because it always, it seems like you can never make the full amount that you'd like to make on those. I'd rather take a chance and do an alarm than a trailing stop. So I think I covered most of the basic questions. So let me go over the layout with you guys real quick. Just have to find my mouse. Here it is. Okay. So I'm going to go over this layout, and then we're going to set up the RV trading for today. So this is my 1 minute chart right here. And see, I do the 9, 20, 50, 100, 200, the VWAP, the volume profile, and then I have the 5 minute grid. No, this is the ATR. I'm sorry. This is showing the ATR highs and lows. This is the 5 minute, and then down here is the scalping indicator. So the 5 minute grid is going to tell me, is it not up there again? What is going on with this thing? I guess I just have to set it once. Yeah, the 5 minute grid is going to tell me when 5 1 minutes are done. Like it's just right here. It's going to, in 2 minutes, this is going to cross over. And then I know when the 5 people that only watch the 5 minutes are going to buy or sell based on what they see, everything they're watching. So obviously you can look at the clock and get this, but I love having the grid here. It makes it so much easier because my eyes are right in here. and I'm trying to find, I'm trying to look right around here, you know, the price. Actually, I've got this set here. Yeah, I'm looking for the price and the level 2, who's stacking up, you know, which way is it going. I'm looking at the scalpers indicator. So my eyes are kind of like that, like an egg shape, you know, and then I'll dart over and look at the 5-minute as this gets closer, but I'm not typically looking at the clock. Let me put this back up here for now anyway. So we talk about it seems like wherever I put it, it's blocking something that I'm talking about. But anyway, so that's going to be on here, as well as a scalping indicator, which is amazing, you know, showing you all these things and which way it's going. So there's a video about the scalping indicator. If I didn't tell you where that was, hopefully I did. That's scalping indicator is there's episodes 66 and 67, which cover the trading view, and for this one here. And the sellings indicator 23 and 35. Enhanced volumes 27. Standard volume, I think I told you, is 26. And then the book was playlist 5. The Build Your Perfect was episode 28. And also episode 8 and 9 have the 5 and 1 minute perfect. And then the archives are playlist 1. Okay, that was just to make sure I covered all that. But there's a lot more on there. Those are just questions that were being asked. So anyway, then down here I've minimized the day chart. Keep it kind of clean, but I keep my ATR over here. And then this is where I will look at the previous day's close before I had the ATR. But I still look at this. This is set for 20 years, back. I like to look for big moves, particularly when it's switched into a trend like an escalator strategy. And then here I have the 4-hour. Right, that has the RSI. These all go 10 days back to mark out your pivots, which we're about to do. And then this is a 1 hour, 15-minute, the level 2. This is the active trader. This is a 5-minute that's set for 10 days. And this is a 5-minute down here that's set for 2 days. So that this isn't a 3-hour video, I'm going to start getting right into marking out for the RV strategy. So how do we start to mark out for the RV strategy? So let's look at this 1 minute. And we're going to see the ATRs are... There's the ATR high already marked. So let's find the ATR. And there's where's the ATR? There's the ATR low right down here. So it's going right along the ATR high and the ATR low. Now, right now, the way this is set is it's only going, showing on the 1 minute chart. So the first thing we want to do is we want to create the ATR to go all the way across. So if you look at the ATR, it's 107.74. So let's edit this line. 107.74. That's going to be our ATR high. So we're going to call it ATR high. It's not a cap. Right? We're going to make that green. We're going to make sure it's extended to the left. And I'm going to go ahead and triple wide that so it's nice and clean. And then say, okay, so there's your ATR high. Why did it not go right over that line? Did I have that? Oh, I said 74, 70. Probably 70. Yeah, it should totally cover the other ATR. Why is it not covering it? Am I not reading that ATR right? Hang on. I'm obviously not reading the ATR right. So there's the ATR. So the ATR is 107.51. Okay, clearly I need to do that better. Okay, there we go. So we're on top of that one. Now we'll go to the ATR low. All right, and this seems to be, let's just make sure I don't make a mistake on this one. Yeah, 103.11. So let me go grab my line up there, 103.11. Properties. We'll mark that ATR low. It's going to take a while, guys, but you're going to like it when it's done. Now, once you get into this, it's going to take you like 15 minutes every day to start. That's all. So, 3 here. Okay. So now we've got our ATR high and our ATR low. Okay. Now, what is that? That's the channel we're trading into. How did we get that? We looked at the average true range of the stock over 14 days, right? And then we divided it in half and added half of it to the close of the previous day to get the high, and added half of it to the low, of the close of the previous day. Subtracted half of it from the close of the previous day to get the low. And we created a channel that we want to create our other channels within. And it looks like it's already broken the ATR level here. Yeah, so most of the day, as you see right here, although look at how it respected it there, huh? Geez, that's why ATR is so important. And then it came up here, and it looks like it's respected it a bunch, broke through into a trend, but always what happens is, not always, a lot of the times it breaks through, then you're waiting for the retest, came back up, retested again, then took off to a much higher, the high. Then came back through again, retested, now it's breaking out again. So the ATR helps you read the overall strategy as well. But in here is where we're going to be really looking for consolidating. Like there's the 10 o'clock. That's usually when we start, 10 o'clock. Look down below. You can see it's at 10 o'clock. This is usually when we start the RV trading, and we're going to have a bunch of channels in here to help us. So I'm about to show you how to get those channels within the larger channels, okay? So, and we trade on a 1-minute chart. So now we're going to open up the 4-hour chart. And to save time, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the Fibonacci's. So we don't want to do that here. Hang on. We want to do that on the 5-minute chart here. We want to set up our Fibonacci for the 10-day. This is set back 10 days, so we want to go high to low for a Fibonacci retracement. So we want to go right here, which is 101. It hit me at 72, but that's close enough. So we want to go up there to 82, right there. And 101.70 is what this should be. So when I go in here, edit properties, I'll call this, I'll go back to 70 cents and get it exact. My microphones. I still have to look at my keyboard, guys. So we're going to go ahead and keep that yellow. That's our first Fibonacci. And you can see that some of those lines, two of those lines are within the, no, 3 of them. 1, 2, 3 are within the ATR high and low. So these are going to be support and resistance lines. Look at already how it respected that fib. So these aren't just random. These are called out on high and low over a 10-day period for a reason. So that's our first Fibonacci. The other Fibonacci that we do is right here, is the 2-day. So now we're going to go high and low for the 2-day. So we look at the 103 even. There it is. And then we want to go to 108.74 right there. And we'll go ahead and make that one a different color. I'm going to make that pink because I don't usually use pink lines for my support and resistance elsewhere. So now we've done that. Now let's go back and just for out of curiosity, now we have a lot more lines in here. So in between the ATR high and low, you see all the pinks. Here's the low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more lines to help us trade. Look at the channel it already created right there, and it created a big channel right here that we could take advantage of. And then here it respected it and bounced back and then finally broke through the ATR. So not perfect, but it's probably going to get a lot better. Now, when you're starting to look at what are all these lines, this is going to be crazy. How do I trade this? Well, you can definitely trade it, guys. So when you get into a 1 minute and you open it up, there's hardly any lines at all, and you're looking for reasons to turn around. So the Fibonacci is obviously a mathematical formula, and there's a lot you can read on about that. I won't give a whole lesson. So that's creating support and resistance for a different reason than I'm about to show you right now on the 4-hour. So on the 4-hour, 10 days back, we're looking for candlestick wicks and bodies where the stock turned around within the ATR level. So here's our ATR level. Let's not get confused. It's right between here and here. So there's a lot of places to mark. You want to start back here first, and we want to mark the bodies and the wicks. All right, I have it preset for the color I want. So there's a wick. I'm going to mark that. I'm going to mark that body. Picked up a whole bunch more as it went across. I'm going to mark these bodies here. Again, they're going to pick them up as they go across, so I won't have to do it again as we get over there. Here's another spot. right there. This wick right here. That one's pretty close unless I pick it up over here more. Oh, I do. So does that pick up down there? Not really. I probably wouldn't mark that because there's no other things to help that. About right there. I'm looking across like this to see inside the ATR, how many times is this lining up? The more times it lines up, the better. I'm not going to go outside the ATR, although actually I should. I'll save myself some time because we saw it's going to break through. Now, you wouldn't know that morning, but since we're doing some testing here, if we happen to test through there, we can see. So I'll go ahead and mark, because what I would do is as it broke through, I would come back, open the 4 hour and go, I got to mark some of these. And then I'd look back even 20 years to see if there's a big pivot on the daily. Is there a big pivot that would turn that trend around? So, and you try to do that really quick when it breaks a trend, but you don't want to do it every morning because it's just so much effort, So I'm marking these bodies. It's not craziness, guys. It's really not craziness, you might. But there's a reason why this stock turned around here. There's a reason why. People could say they know. I don't know. If you know that stock that well, you might know that's the exact price point where it turned around. You're going to say, why? Oh, because that gear wheel failed on that thing. So right then, I knew that was going to happen. So maybe there are definitely people that have. Now let's widen it up a little bit just to see what I might have missed. So right here, look at that triple top across those 4 hours. So that's a good spot. I'm within the ATR here still, right? So everything blue I know is 4 hours. So let's look here. Yep, this one's hit here, here, and all the way over here too. So here's another good one on the bodies that's not picked up yet. And then let's see down here. Is that yeah, look at it. It hits it over here and those over there. So I'll pull it down so it hits the most of them. You can take a little license of a few cents so you get the most taps from the different candlesticks. Where's the ATR low? Way down there. So is this being picked up anywhere else? Yeah, it is. So let's get this to. I think most of these, as we know from the price action, aren't going to come into play, but of course we wouldn't have known that when we marked them out. So what about right there? That could actually be a spot too. Well, it's all by itself, so I probably won't mark that one. Okay, so that's pretty much marked out for the 4 hours. It's possible I can't mark out today because this is the day we're going to be trading. So, but it's possible I've missed a few. Yeah, that one hits as it goes across here too. So it's above the ATR, but I'm doing it because we kind of know which way the price action is going to go. I think that's it as far as within the ATR for the 4 hours. So now let's look at the 1 hours, and what's going to happen is on the 1 hour, it's a big jumbled mess. A lot of them are going to already be picked up because the 4 hours is going to pick them up. So you start over here. I'm going to make it so it's easier to see, and we see how many 1 hours haven't been picked up. So right here, so I'm going to go into the first one here. I'm going to change the color to orange. Now our 1 hours are going to be orange, and I'm going to set that as the default. So now everything I mark now is going to be orange for 1 hour. So let's look to see. So this body also hits this body. So there's some action right there. Not far from that. It's going to make a small channel. And that channel might make us, $100. Look at all the bottoms of those candles hit right there. So that's a good spot that got missed. By the 4 hour didn't pick it up. How about right there? Is that picking it up? Kind of across there a bit. Yeah, that one's pretty good. That's pretty decent. Go a little bit lower right there. And where's our ATR low? Way down there. So does that get picked up? No. These single wicks are a little suspect, but if we have alignment, look at there's so much alignment right there. So let's get that one marked. So you're just looking for alignment. Remember, the stock turned around here. This isn't random. This is where the stock pivoted and turned around from whatever direction it was going. So that's probably, we're not going to have to open the 15-minute because probably what happened here is that we have enough channels in here to show us what to do. I mean, you don't want 25 5-cent channels. You need to have some decent channels. So now the next thing we would do, so we've got the Fibonacci, we've got all the things marked up. Now, obviously, what I didn't do, let me move my picture again because I know you're going to want to see this. What I didn't show you was scanners. So I forgot. Now, there is a video about how to set up scanners for momentum trading, but this is set up right now. This is an active day. So Apple, let's set it up for the highest. Apple, it's set up right now for the highest volume. We go up to the highest ATR, and you've got Moderna. Moderna is ahead, and then AMD. But often you want to start with the ATR, and then you want to switch to the highest volume. Now, Apple's is, did that switch to Apple? No, I'm not on the highest volume. There we go. Apple is, that ATR is so low, I would probably come down to the highest volume with the highest ATR. So I probably would have traded AMD today if this was the reading when I ran my scanner. A lot of people ask, how do I pick my stock? When you go to mark out your stock, first you look at, does it make the ATR? Does it have, is it, obviously the market hasn't opened yet, so you have to look for like previous volumes that it would normally have. And then it's all about the channels. How many Fibonacci lines are inside? How many channel lines are inside? Are there the right channel sizes for you? In the book, it really goes into detail about that criterion. That's going to be very hard for me to tell you right now. But you don't, you just get a good stock. And pretty much, I don't want to say any stock, but these large caps, you're going to have opportunities. So again, I said $25 billion minimum market cap. So that's 25,000 million is the same as 25 billion. So you set it up for that. Now remember, there's a whole thing on how to set this up. What's a study? What is stock? What is a stock? Watch those videos under all the tips and tricks of Thinkorswim playlist. You're going to see a scanner one. And then you want to set up there's all the ways you can do different studies, and the studies are off to the side here and everything. So this is the study you want for the ATR. Input length, you want to put 2-day back. Now, this could be, you could do this on the scanner. I did too. The ATRs are on 14. You could do this for 14 and rescan. And you're probably going to get very, very similar numbers here. So some people want to do that. And then your maximum price range, 250. Now this doesn't have, because of that, it doesn't have like NVIDIA and stuff. So if you put 500 in here, you're going to get a lot more, but it just depends on, so you've got Tesla. Is NVIDIA over 500 right now? Look at Tesla. God. It's craziness right now. Remember when this dropped below 200 not too long ago, a couple months ago? So yeah, it's out of control right now. But anyway, so this is how you want to use this scanner and set this up. I usually sort 10. Remember, another thing that slows down your computer is having your scanner open to stuff. That's going to wicked slow down. Just charts and scanners slow down your computer the most when you're having trouble with that. Okay, so that's basically the scanner layout. Go back to charts. I don't know why that's red. That's interesting. Is that because, is it past 4 o'clock? No. Wonder if it's red because the market's closed. I don't know why it's red. Anyway, so now we're going to break into how do we trade this. So let's get a look at this. And the best way to do this is I'm not going to start trading live just before the close. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and see how we could have traded this. And I'm going to block off the candles that, obviously you can tell that I can, maybe I could have memorized some candles here. I'm not, but let's just say I did. It's not going to make any difference when I call these trades because you're going to see that these trades, hopefully, are going to work either way. So I'm going to go ahead and max out this chart so it's easier for us to work. I'm going to go back to, here's 10 o'clock. So I'm going to go to 10 o'clock. Let me get, and I'm going to open this up. No, I want to close this. I'll open it up past 10. I'll go from like 10. Oh, I don't want to be down here. I want to be right here. Hang on. I'm going to go from like 10 over to like, Well, I won't show you more past there. So now this will be the area that I will call the trades, but I'm going to block it off so I can't see past 10 o'clock. So let's see right here. Now let's look at our channels. It's a bit confusing here. So there's our VWAP, there's our 20 moving average, there's a 9 moving average. Here's our candlesticks. Inside, here's our channel. So it looks like this channel was pretty well respected right here. This one was respected for a bit. We could have made some plays here. This one kind of bounced and then went back up and went here. So now I'm at a disadvantage, obviously, because I don't have the scalping indicator moving here. I don't know what the level 2 looks like. These are things I would use, of course, but that disadvantage is going to be good, right? So let's talk about what just happened here on this. So this closed right here, resting on the 20. It looked like the selling was strong. This is calling out. It's continuing to move. It broke through the floor of the Fibonacci, and this 4-hour right here had a lot of strength. Now remember, I talk about that with every trade. It's like every ceiling and floor that it goes through, it's like it's putting a shackle on it. So it's like slow. It's gonna make it harder for it to move. I know that's not really true. It's just an analogy to give you the feeling like these support and resistance lines, they came from when the stock turned around before, right? People are watching these levels for whatever reason. So it's not ridiculous to think that it's going to be harder for them to continually break through a level that used to turn around. That's all I'm saying. It's simple logic, and it works. So we'll walk through it so you can see. So this to me is calling for it to go down. Now, what am I looking for? I'm looking for it to get down here, and then I'm going to be careful because it might not be able to break through the floor of this 4-hour. It might bounce, and then I would reverse and go long. That's the way my mind's thinking right now. However, often when a stock comes down, it loses its way in the middle of the channel. The volume helps tell you that. And other indicators, a level 2 might say, hey, be careful what you're going to do here. So right now I don't have a position. So, but probably what I would do if this next candle opens red, I would get in. So I do this because I don't have a position now because we just started at 10 o'clock. So let's see what happens. It's green. So now what we don't know is, did it go down here first? I don't know. If it did, it might have got me in, right? It might have got me in. And then as it hit that ceiling, it shook me out and I had a losing trade. So it might have got me in. But if it started to go up here first, then I was like, I don't know. And then as it started to go down, I might not enter till, right in this area. And then it starts to go back up and closes. So I don't know somewhere. Either I've taken a small loss or I'm in a position right here. I hope that makes sense to you guys. I'm in a position right here. Now, what's the size of that channel? This is at 55 cents, and this is down to 29 cents. So we have a 26-cent channel right here, right? So now let's see what happens on the next candle. I'm in a position, or I made a small loss. So now if I was in the position still, right? So remember it closed up here. So if I was in a position now, then I'm feeling better about it because it's probably past, I'm probably green again and I'm still holding. If I wasn't in a position, I would have gone short as soon as this went red, because look what happened. It hit here and it rejected. So I'm either in a really good position with some money and I'm holding, or I just turned green again down here. Hopefully you guys follow that. And I've recovered from that small loss if I'm in this position going down. Now I'm going down. So now I'm making money, right? So either position, right? I waited. It broke through at some point, and it even broke through the next one. So as it came back up through here, I would have got out. Now this is going to happen fast, but it broke through. Then it had to break through a ceiling now, and then another ceiling. I'm like, I'm taking my profit right there. So I've made profit. Same thing would have happened had if that was just a brand new trade all the way down, or if I had the position right here, I would have taken, made a profit right here. So now I would have looked at this with it closing right here, and I'm not sure I would have done anything. I would have waited for the next candle to see what to do. So, you know, if it's going to continue to go back down again, breaks through here, I'm going to go short. If it starts to go up in this channel, I'm going to go long. Take it the next candle. So look at that. So now I'm regretting that I got out, but I instantly get back in as it breaks back through the floor of price level 1 here. I'm instantly back in the short. I'm remembering now on this chart, unfortunately, it's just going, I think it's just going straight down here. So it makes it look easier to trade. But now by using these levels, it's telling me what to do. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. So now I'm in the position and I'm going down. Boom, it has a lot of strength here, right? And look at this. You can tell that what I would have read, that this is going crazy and more sellers are hitting. So, you know, broke through here and then it came down here, tapped, and started to come back. I might have bailed and taken a nice profit right there, or been holding for this next candle to see if it's going to continue. If it starts to go up, I'm going to get out immediately. So let's see what happens. Nope. So I probably am still in the position, and because that little spike wouldn't have shook me out because I had a nice green here. So I you know how I trade, right? I've got a cushion. So I'm not just going to bail out for a short trade if I don't have to. So now I'm in the position more, and it's going down. It's broke through it, broke through it, broke through, broke through, and then kind of came back up. So now I'm in the same scared position right here. I don't know if I want to call it scared, but I'm on watch. Is that the end of it? It's solid here. Now you always want to look across to see what happened earlier today too. And right here carried a lot of weight, right? Because a lot of them didn't make it and turned around, but it already broke through that. So now this could be it, you know. And this is the 100, I believe, right here. This is the 50, and this is the 200, that little thing down here. So I would get the advantage, of course, of seeing other other tools and indicators to help me make this decision, but it can be made by just looking at these support and resistance. That's what I'm trying to show you. So if you make a trading plan, you stick to it, you are careful and ready to react pretty quickly, and that's why I say practice in the sim, to the way I'm calling this out, the ceilings and the floors. You know, people might say, well, you could just draw a bunch of random lines and you just do the same thing. No, you can't. Because we actually tried that. These pivot lines actually really help a lot, right? And that the newer way of thinking about it is that respect every line till you don't. It used to be we said, hey, 25 to 30%. And probably if you looked at this, it is like 25 to 35% somewhere in there that actually got respected, you know. But you don't know which one it's going to be. So you just assume they're all right and then react like I'm telling you. So remember, here's where we are right now, right, guys? People have been asking me to do this, so I'm doing it. So here we are resting on this nice little pivot. It's a 1 hour. You got a 4 hour right before it. These are a bunch of micro channels that are really hanging on to this thing now. Now this is getting heavy to move. This is getting hard to push down. So I'm going to assume, unless this is just, I don't know any news on this stock or anything, but you also have the point of control, which I should have been looking at. So this is a magnet pulling this stock down to this right here. That's the point of control. So I would have been looking at that, but I have to tell you the way that it's moving now and how many pivots it's gone through. I'm afraid. I'm watching close, but I'm in a short position, ready to react. Here we go. So there it goes. So now it's going up. So I'm not going to wait for a retrace. I have a nice profit here. I'm getting out. Now, you know that I reverse a lot, and I most likely would have reversed on this since it was a hard stop at a pivot, not in the middle of a channel. So I am in a long position now, somewhere about right here, going up. It pulled through that thing. I could have got out right then. Now, guys, obviously, you could say, well, why don't you get out at the top of the pivot? Because you don't know that's the top, you know. So I'm not going to say I would have got out right here. So I would have looked at this break back through that ceiling, that high, and I might have gotten out right there for a short scalp. I might have just taken a winning trade. You know, they add up, guys. You've seen me do the long trades. These little trades add up. You know, if I have 500 shares, you know, suddenly I'm getting, you know, 25, 50 bucks a trade. And then the end of 8 to 10 trades, I'm at 500, 700, $800. And you've seen me do it with small share size. And I'm basically doing this very thing and probably not calling out as quite as accurately as I'm here. So I'm either holding right here, right on this pivot line, waiting to see if it keeps going down and about to bail or reverse, or I got out for a profit and I'm hanging with no position because it literally closed in the middle of a channel. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So let's see what happens. Wow. So that's awesome. So if I was holding, then it just took off on me. And it's boom, 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 and it slapped the VWAP and turned back around. You know, if I had gotten out, I'm going to get in once it breaks back through this channel. So I'm not going to be in as good a position as holding it here, but I have a nice trade because it broke through a ceiling. And that's a 1 hour. Yep. It broke through a ceiling, and then I'm riding it up. And I'm looking to see, is it going to hit and bounce off that next 4 hour up here? Or is the VWAP turned around and it closed here? I'm holding strong. I'm in this position either way. Okay. Now we go to the next candle. So now it broke the VWAP and it broke that channel for a minute and then came right back down. And I don't know if it did this first. I probably would have sold if it did this first, but certainly as it came back down, I would have sold right in here. So I either sold like here, right around here or here, but either way, I made a profit. I don't know how good my profit was. It's a doji. I'm holding firm. So I'm going to do a couple more, guys, so it's not a 4 hour video. So now I don't have any position. I would not take a position on a candle like this, okay? So now we're going to wait to see what happens. So another doji. I'm afraid. I mean, you know, you've seen me take chances. I would not recommend trading this. This is not really tradable. So we're holding. Here we go. So now we did 2 dojis, right? And then it seemed like it's decided that it's going to go down. So after it's dropped from its highest point, broken through the VWAP, then through this channel, it'd be nice to say I got it up here, but I probably wouldn't have. But as it broke through this channel, I probably would have picked up a short. So I have just a tiny short as this closed, hoping it's going to go down. So it did go down, and it went down all the way to that, almost to that pivot. Can we see? Yeah. So it almost tapped that pivot and pulled back. I probably would have got out right in here somewhere as it pulled back and made a little profit here. I'm not sure I would have reversed in view of this over here. I'm not sure I would have reversed. I think I might have waited, but I'm not sure. You've seen me reverse, and if I did, I probably would have got out as it hit that and came back down. You know, but these are all really telling you, just sit it out a minute. These are a bunch of doji, dragonflies, gravestones, just a mess. So it's getting more difficult in here to trade. Now, that's how I would trade the micro and mini channels. Now, if you were just looking at, say, a 4 hour from here down to here, right, and you started to trade, like, could you have gotten something here? These wouldn't have made it. But you would have got it here, and you would have said, hey, I'm shorting. So if you were looking for those 2 channels, you had a short all the way down. You would have just used the logic. I'm green, I'm waiting. Oh, I'm not, it didn't shake me out. I'm waiting. Green, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. It shakes you out after it hits the channel you're looking for, right? Actually, were we looking for that one? Either one, and then breaks back through it. When it breaks back through it, like even, let's just say you waited a little longer. Now you better get out. So you've got that move from here all the way to up here. So I'm just being logical. Like, I'm not going to get it in the best position, obviously. So I'm using these ceilings and floors of these pivot lines that were there for a reason to make my decision. Okay, guys, I hope that makes sense. This is how I trade every day. This strategy can be adapted to just about anything. So, you've heard me say the people that say, I don't like lines, well, they're doing a different kind of trading. I mean, this is a specific kind of trading that we kind of carved out here that is based on one of the oldest style trading that there is, which is range bound. So if you stuck through the whole video, I think hopefully you learned a lot. I didn't need to know what was coming up because you saw the logic of what I did. So if you think I memorized what was coming up, I mean, most of you know that's not true because you see me trade, but I mean, It doesn't matter, right? This strategy works without you trying to think that I might have known something. I explained why it works. Now, if you have questions about this specific thing I've talked about, I would enjoy getting them if you're confused, so I can, I can double down on making more. I'm probably going to make this like how you have a commercial for your channel when you first open it, because it covered so much. So if people want to sit through the whole thing and they're brand new, they're going to learn a lot. So remember, go to those playlists, go to those episodes. I'm continuing to make content. Remember, everything's free. Get those scripts. Talk in the community. It's a great community here. And I'll try to answer all the questions through making the videos. But occasionally I will answer, and then I know some people are emailing with me getting this. If you have, it's a call out for custom scripts to make available to our community. I want it to be emailed to me, so I'm getting your approval, not just a put on the comments. Because guys, you might not know, and I covered this on the last video, if you go to this Think Scripts and stuff like that, you see all these people are selling their scripts, or you see commercials for them, right? So if you say I can put it on DTS and put it out for free, they can't do that. So I put DTS, I have the intellectual property, and then if they go to try to sell it, we can go after them. So we're about the open share. So if you are good at that, or you know people are good at that, or ChatGPT is doing great things, if you're messing around with that and you come up with some cool scripts, I'd love to talk to you about it. I'd love to put them out for the community so we can just make it easier and easier to do this type of strategy or other types of strategy. And I will make an in-depth one on the other two strategies we're teaching right now. But this is the longest video I've made yet, guys. So I hope you enjoyed it, and stay green out there. Remember, trade in a sim first. Seek the advice of a financial advisor, and I will see you next time.